Good evening to everyone present here. It is truly a matter of immersive pride and joy for me to welcome you all to this very insightful 75th online interactive session, which is also 55th Leadership Development Program by Corporate Mentor. I extend my heartfelt greetings to our esteemed honorable guest speaker for the day, CA Vishal Gupta sir, Honorable Chairman Professor BP Singh sir in absentia, Honorable Senior Professor Ajay Kumar Singh sir, Honorable Director of the College Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma sir, respected Registrar Dr. R.S. Singh sir, respected faculty members and my dear fellow students, I, Pranam Menon, a first year BCom honor student at DSPSR, feel deeply honored to stand before you today for a remarkable session hosted by the Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research, an institution renowned for this commitment to academic excellence, industry integration, and holistic student development. Today's session is another step in our journey of learning and growth, where classrooms extend beyond textbooks and real world leaders inspired with their vision and experience. Let us embrace this movement with curiosity and enthusiasm. To commence with this session on an auspicious note, let us now take part in the symbolic ritual of lighting the virtual lamp. This act represents the removal of darkness and the rushing in of wisdom and enlightenment. May this flame of knowledge guide us towards clarity, confidence, success in the days ahead. Now, I request Arun sir to kindly play the virtual lamp lighting video.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शुभं भवतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते
Um, it is my great honor to welcome our distinguished speaker for today, CA Vishal Gupta sir. CA Vishal Gupta sir is a chartered accountant with over 24 years of years of financial leadership experience, including more than 15 years in the healthcare and diagnostics sector. Known for his go-getter attitude and his solution-driven mindset, he has successfully led financial strategy, ERP implementation, investor funding, and corporate governance across both global organizations and startups. Currently serving as senior manager, commercial finance, post merger at Werfen, India, and formerly the executive director at Immucor, India. He has built and nurtured strategic relationship with leading hospital networks, diagnostic labs, and clinical teams, aligning financial system with patient care delivery. Over the years, he has led two major acquisitions and built India's distributors network, designed profitable placement models for high cost instruments, significantly improving ROI, automated payment systems, and integrated US GAAP reporting with Big Four audit governance. Served as a compliance coordinator and board advisor, ensuring policy level oversight and robust internal controls. Before his tenure at Werfen and Immucor, Mr. Gupta uh, has held senior leadership roles at Vaughan Hole International, Quest Diagnostics India, Gamepack, Richa Nets Limited, and Bhushan Steel and Strips Limited. where he contributed to IPO preparation, mergers, ERP rollouts, cost management, and supply chain optimization. Sir, we are truly honored to have you with us today. Your journey and insights will surely inspire our students to pursue excellence, embrace adaptability, and lead with integrity. We are equally privileged uh, to have uh, we are equally privileged to have as our moderator today, Mr. Aryan Sharma, a dedicated and a dynamic BBA student at DSPSR with proven leadership skills and a passion for business excellence. Aryan has hands-on experience in sales and marketing management operations, client engagement, and data analysis. As an active member of placement cell in DSPSR, he has coordinated numerous successful placement drives, strengthened recruiters' relationships, and conducted workshops to enhance student employability. His active participation in academic and extracurricular activities showcases his commitment to personal growth and contribution to DSPSR community. DSPSR, on behalf of DSPSR, I warmly welcome you, Aryan Sharma, sir.
Thank you, Pranav. Hi, good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to sir. I'm audible, I guess.
Yeah, you are audible.
Uh, Vishal sir, kindly unmute yourself. Yes,
Hi, good evening, sir.
yes, now
I'm
Aryan,
Arvind
you
Sharma,
can go.
and I'm now taking over the session from here. Sir, to know more about you, I like you tell me about how you started your career in finance and how you uh, from where you belong. Like I want to know about your journey so that we could connect more.
Okay, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome to all the students in the Panch Sakha Mentorship Initiative. So when I received this invitation, I was very bit excited that this kind of initiative is being taken by your institute, DSPSR. So this kind of initiative are not available, during our student life. So I really congratulate DSPSR, their leadership, to have such kind of interaction, with the industry leaders to give a flavor, what is the expectations, from the industry, because ultimately, post the graduation, the students are supposed to, take the baton in their hand and to help the corporates to fulfill their activities and goals. So coming to back to my background, I did my graduation in 1996. Uh, I'm a commerce graduate. I studied BCom from Gujarat University from the HL College of Commerce. And the reason, why I was there, because my father was transferred to that state. He worked for State Bank of India for 30 years, and as a part of transfers, regular transfers, he was posted in Ahmedabad, and I did my 11th and 12th and graduation and chartered accountancy from Ahmedabad itself. And post my graduation and CA qualification, I came back to Delhi. And since then, I am in Delhi since 2001. So all my 24 year of experience, working experience, is in Delhi NCR, and my schooling and graduation was primarily from Ahmedabad.
Thank you, sir, for insights. When I was looking to your career, I found that you have worked with many big groups like Genpact, Richa, but there was a point that I found that how significant change from Richa, that is a garment manufacturing company who makes for Levi's and from other many other brands like American Eagle for now. How this was a significant shift from the garment manufacturing to a diagnostic or a pharmaceutical industries.
All right. So basically, let me tell you, for the finance and legal and or for the accountancy profession, industry is not a restriction. So industry background is not really a restriction. So the best thing related to our profession is that we are movable. we can align ourselves to any of the industry. So that is the reason you can see, from a steel company to a textile company. And before that, I worked for a BPO also, and then, moved to the healthcare. So the first 14, 15 years, I had an experience working with the different type of industries. After that, I am trying to be part of the healthcare because of only reason that I really like this this business. It's not only the business that exciting me. It's basically the patient care which is the core of this business. So that is exciting me, and that's the reason I've decided to pursue my career with those companies who are having a mission to save lives.
Okay. When you said that the patient care, but how the public has made generalized view towards this, I truly on their basis of how they get the treatment. This industry has much more potential to do at a cheaper cost. I guess you also believe in this, but significantly prices are so much high that a common man or a person who has no government subsidies or no government support cannot afford that. How you look at it when you are in this sector?
I'm sorry, your voice is not very clear. I could not get your question.
Okay, so I can repeat that. When you see this industry, which has a highest potential and have a significant like profits, how for a common
Sorry,
man
I'm
to
not able to
afford?
comprehend. So this question is related to what?
I'm saying, like, let me just make it very clear out that the profits are very high in this sector.
Which, which,
And
which?
in this sector, sir, in medical sector.
In medical sector, the profits
Yes,
are
yes.
very higher.
Yes, but
Okay.
when a persons are getting when a person goes in out for a medical treatment, and this is for a company side, the profit, he gets the same things at a very high prices. That truly states why the profits are high. How you look at it as a person who can make things at cheaper cost, and so that the more people can afford those best quality of healthcare.
Okay, thanks for asking this question. So this give me an opportunity to clarify, through you that India offers the best quality healthcare, in the entire world at 1/10 of this price. Because
Exactly.
we have the visibility of what is going on in the entire world. So we see the sales number, the profitability number of the entire continent, of all the continents. And we see that, despite having, 140 crore rupee, 140 crore of population, our profitability, in terms of, as a business unit, as compared to other business unit in Asia Pac, Singapore, Thailand, other countries, we perform at the rock bottom. Our margins are very thin. And I'm not talking about just my company, I'm talking about the industry as an average. So you take an example of all the big companies like Johnson, Biored, Abbott. So they are not working with very hefty profit margins. They are barely making enough profit just to survive. The reason is that the end user prices, is capped. You know, like the insurance is capped for most of the treatment, like for any kind of stents. The capping is 80 to 90,000 rupees, right, for all from most of the insurers. Like for cardiac treatment, the maximum capping is 2.5 lakhs. So every surgery or every procedure has a capping from the insurer. And mostly 70 to 80% treatment is being funded or financed from the insurer, because people are aware either it is funded through the government through CGS government scheme, or it is coming through a private insurer, and private insurer has the fixed limit for any kind of surgeries or any kind of treatment, right? And for example, like in MRI, the MRI takes 5 to 10,000 rupees in India, while in any other country it takes 1 lakh of rupees minimum, right? And the cost of the installation, the cost of the instrument, which Siemens installed, it is more than 2 crore rupees. And it
Yeah,
is very
exactly.
difficult, to achieve the break even for the corporate hospital, even for the manufacturer, who are installing this machine, with the 10,000 rupees of MRI cost. Even though the volumes are there, but it takes minimum 4 to 5 years for any corporate, to get their investment recovered. So it is a myth that the companies are making money from this business, because the medical services or medical treatment is governed by the government as well as by the health through the health insurance companies. So the companies, most of the companies are hand to mouth in terms of their maintaining their profitability. And the hospitals are smart. They do not buy the capital instruments from the companies like us. They, ask the companies to place the instrument. The placement of the instrument means the instrument is placed free of cost. And as and when the consumables are being used, for doing any kind of blood testing or any kind of testing, which we normally does. So the hospital or lab, they pay as and when they use the capital instrument. So they're also smart. So the capital investment goes from the company, at a very high margins, but the recovery is very slow. It takes sometimes 10 years, to get their capital costs recovered. But since India GDP is growing very higher, it is 7% at this moment, and there is a double-digit growth in the hospital sector or in the medical diagnostic sector. So the most of the companies, they want to stay invested in India, considering that after 5 years, 10 years down the line, the per capita income would grow up and the company would be able to, make enough profits, let's say in 2030 or onwards.
So when you say that India's economy is going, but parallelly we have seen that India being tariff 50% of the total world. Like in the Asia, the China is getting lesser tariff than us. And when we see the Pakistan, who is a terrorized supporting country, terrorism supporting country, how you look at it when you are when you are supplying it to the USA, this kind of tariffs, and how much it is impacting you?
See, India is exporting mainly the textile, the electronic items, and gem and jewelry. So few items India is exporting to the US, and of course the of course the generic drugs. So I think, to the best of my knowledge, the generic drugs are so far exempted from the tariffs. So the iPhones and the general generic drugs. So far it is exempted. So there is no impact on the pharmaceutical companies for the US tariff. It is still exempted.
So do you think that it will bring a blockage in the growth of an India, as far as we have a strategic partner, US?
India is the lowest, manufacturer cost of the pharmaceutical industry. There are, very big companies who are manufacturing the generic pharmaceutical items, and the US healthcare system is 10 times or 20 times higher than India. So I don't think that US healthcare system can afford to put tariff on the Indian pharmaceuticals. So I think it will be exempted. It will remain exempted in future also.
Okay, so this geopolitical tension brings down to me when you said that the US have a 10 times higher cost of cost of medical. How it is cheaper in India as compared to US? Because some of my relatives are in US, they always come here to India for their dental treatment. Why the things are more costlier in such a developing country than we are still on the verge of development?
See, the US per capita income is more than $85,000, while in India it is less than $2,000. So the disposable income in the US is very, very higher. So the cost of insurance is funded through mainly by the government. So there is no as such incentive, for the hospitals to reduce the prices, because everything is controlled by the government under the insurance. So every citizen in the US is directly or indirectly sponsored or covered by the government schemes. And third thing, the cost of education, the manpower cost, like in India, how much we pay to a pathologist, MD pathologist, maximum 10 to 12 lakhs is the salary, or a radiologist, the maximum salary is 15 to 20 lakhs, or a staff nurse, the maximum salary is 5 to 8 lakhs rupees. While in the US, the average salary of a radiologist is around 80 lakhs, minimum 80 lakhs. The cost of manpower is very, very higher in the US. That is the reason they are not able to, provide the healthcare support services, at a rate, that we are able to afford because of the manpower cost.
Okay. So basically, the manpower cost, let me just tell my audience. If you would like to sir, tell what is manpower cost, because most of the people aren't aware of that.
That is the average cost of hiring an employee, whether it's a administrative staff, or it's a clinical staff, or it's a surgeon, or it's a consultant. So the cost of education is very higher. The average salaries are very higher in the US. It is almost 10 times. So definitely, the automatically it has the cascading effect on the entire healthcare system. The
Okay.
price will also be in proportion to the manpower cost and the manpower cost.
If somebody from India or somebody from this session only, a student wants to grow in this sector, in the medical or in a diagnostic center, sector, how he can do that? What are the opportunities? What are limitations you see if you have, as per the expert of the sector?
I mean, you mean to say as a startup
As a startup,
or as
sir,
an.
let's take a startup.
So as a startup, definitely, there is a lot of pressure on the multinational companies, to start manufacturing in India. Although the price point in India is very low, so it doesn't attract any foreign company to start manufacturing for India, for Indian people, because of the price point and the cost of investment is very high. So maybe, let's say there could be like the startup can be started in an area where a new technology can be brought in, where it is predominantly dominated by the multinational companies. So most of the diagnostic instruments are imported, by the Indian government. So, if we can come up with new technology, better technology that can further reduces the cost of treatment, like bringing new instruments, like finding new ways to do the testing on a patient, point of care system where the patient doesn't need to go to any lab or to any hospital. The testing can be done, through some different methodology. So maybe, it requires a brain from the engineering side who can design the instrument, and of course the clinician. So if a clinician, technicians, engineers, and the finance companies, those who funds the startup companies, they can come together and can pick up few projects where the cost of procuring an equipment is much, much higher, while importing it. If somebody can develop an instrument, so then definitely, it could open up a new area. Because most of the
Okay.
technologies, which the foreign manufacturer are providing in India or anywhere in the world, so these are patented. So Indian entrepreneur has to come out with a new technology. We cannot copy it like China. So we have to, come out with a new technology, and the new technology requires a scientific brain, a financial brain, as well as of course the support from the clinician. And I've heard that, AIMS, Jajjar, they have started a R&D unit where they are encouraging the students from IIT, to come up, and do the R&D project with the help of the clinicians through the AIMS. So AIM clinician will provide the guidance, what is required, and then probably the IIT engineers will help them to develop the instruments. So already the government has started this initiative, and if someone, can have the can raise some fund and can, have that kind of aptitude, to develop a new technology that is more cheaper and affordable. So definitely it's a very niche and gray area.
Okay, sir. But when we talk about the cost, I believe the patents are the most of the time eats the cost, because what I was reading that there was an injection known as Ozempic. If you have heard it, that it has been patented since from past 20 or 25 years, and the next year it's gonna be open for the world. Do you think that with this and the price of Ozempic was 30,000 in India. With such kind of prices, do you think such like when it will be open to access to all, the profitability remains the same for the company?
So sorry, I have understood your last point, but the first line I missed it. So you're talking about some kind of procedure cost, 30,000 rupees?
Okay, so I started from the patents. That patents are the eats most of the cost in this sector. While you acquire patents from, let's suppose, from a company Ozempic, you have to pay a much higher prices to them. But when it will be open for all, when there will be no patents for anyone, does the company makes the same amount of profits, or
See,
they will
why
be?
everybody would like to share their patents? Because patent is something which is technical know-how. It requires a million of dollars, sometimes billion of dollars, that goes out to develop, any kind of new product. It is not easy. It requires, multiple years of efforts and a lot of funds needs to be invested. So no company would like to transfer their patents, as far as, I understand this market, from the diagnostic healthcare industry. So if India, want to have independent manufacturing in India, so the Indian entrepreneur has to come out with a new technology. There is no other option. Paid.
Okay, so most our college is a management college. So being a director, what key potentials you find out in someone when you hire a person for a, let's suppose, for a senior manager to the I believe for a middle manager.
Okay, so that's a very good question. So there is a big difference between college life and the corporate reality. So in colleges, the problems are clear. There is a full data available, and the deadlines are sometimes flexible. While in the corporate world, most of the time we receive unclear problems. The data is not complete, and there are always urgent deadlines. And for example, most of the time, the core level decisions are to be made with just 70% information. Right. So the world in the corporate is altogether different. And how university students, should groom themselves as a part of their college journey so that they can be well engaged with the corporate. So probably it may require a couple of additional skills like, financials and analytical literacy. So this is something which is not being taught in the colleges. It is a part of the curriculum, but sometimes it is not. It has to be learned, by self. So the students, should be able to read the financial statements. So they should, start reading the financial statement, and so that the student can understand the concept of cost profit trends, and student should be able to understand the numbers, because numbers tell the story and nothing else. So reading the number is very important. So just pick up few companies, start reading their numbers, and try to make a story. Try to make your own ideas. Whether you want to invest into that company, as a retail investor or not. So this will give a lot of help, a lot of insights, how to read the information, how to read the numbers, and how to articulate the information, to your external stakeholders. The second important skill is communication and influence. So selling ideas, is very important. They should be very clear. The idea should be clear in writing, and the person should be very, very confident in speaking. Of course, active listening is a key part. So communication and influence, financial and analytical literacy. And the third and most important thing is the adaptability and technological awareness, because attitude, is very important. And the student should be able to embrace AI, what is happening, in the industry, what is the new tools that are coming up, the analytics, the automation, how we can, do our work faster. Excel is now a routine thing, so learn, how to produce the information through Power BI, and of course, stay current with the industry technology. And it's also important that the student should build their personal brand. So how the student can build a personal brand? They can start pursuing some kind of higher studies. It could be MBA, CFA, data analytics, whatever in which you are interested. So apart from doing your graduation, start thinking, to do also some kind of higher studies later. and start building up your idea, whether you want to be part of finance, marketing, HR, operations. So what makes you exciting and why? So try to start to find out the answer, what makes you exciting, because if you are trying to get a job or trying to start your own career in finance, but your excitement is not there, so there is no point. So try to find out, your exciting piece. And so you need to understand, what makes you more exciting.
Okay.
And the most important thing, integrity, never compromise on the integrity, because finance and accounts is the core heart of any of the organization. So integrity is non-negotiable. Networking is an investment. So start making investment into the networking. Manage money early, create your own portfolio, try to manage your own finance, get some investment, try to see, what kind of ROI you can make it from your small investment. The quantum is not important, but the how you manage it, it's very important. So that, you can start learning what is money, how to, optimize the ROI. Keep learning beyond your job. That's also, important, like, you are coordinating the session. So this kind of extracurricular activities definitely would help in future. And one should also look at, which skill will matter most in 2030. So we are in 2025. So have a vision of 2030. What is going to be required, and which skill is going to be matter most in 2030? In 2030, how to go about if there is an incomplete data, because the organization wants go-getter. They do not want people, who gives an excuse. And as I mentioned, the data completion won't be available. So how, you can achieve your goal with 70% data? And and the other question you should ask from yourself, if you are a CFO, what is the first number you would like to check? So that is the question you need to ask. As a CFO, what is the first number you would like to check? Which skill will matter most in 2030, and how you will work with incomplete data.
Okay. So currently, when you said the MBA, there's always a huge debate in the market that one should not do I guess one should not do the MBA and have a should and must pursue in career in some sector and get a like make a T shape. Like, you are aware of that T shape, that in one sector you have a knowledge about, have a deep knowledge about, and the rest, that the line of it, the upper line of the T is the you should have awareness about the other sectors. Or the other part of our world says that you should go with some big B schools that opens the arms of a world for you. How you look at it when after spending so much time in the corporate world? That if you have to let's break it down. If you have to hire someone someone from SP Jan who has done MBA in operations, or someone who has spent 10 years in operations, same line, sir.
Okay, so basically, whenever we go for a hiring, so we always look at, what additional thing the person is doing, whether as a student, or whether as a accountant, or whether as a finance manager, or whether as a tax manager, in whichever role the person is performing. So what extra things the person is doing. And secondly, second most important thing is that what is the attitude of that person, whether the person, believes in getting the work done, whether he's a go-getter, or he try to gives an excuse. So basically, the first important thing is an attitude. So attitude is the most important thing. Attitude decides your future. If your attitude is positive, if you, and if you are able to contribute more positively to the corporate, or to whatsoever work, you want to pursue, so that will help to get extra marks. If you're doing a routine job, if you're happy, if you're contained with whatever you're doing it, so that probably will not, make the hiring manager happy. The hiring manager would like to see, whether you can be a leader in future. And it is not important, how well, you understand your technical work. So technical aspect helps in the initial part of your life. But later you should start learning, the leadership skill, how to manage the work, how to break down the large work into small components, how to get the work from other people, how to supervise, how to, motivate the other person, how to make a team, how to, do the networking. So those additional soft skills would differentiate you, from your other peers.
Okay. So the crux is, I want to tell my audience that you should, for a long vision, you should have leadership skills. But for your daily life goals, you should always know about your the work, and you should have a hands-on experience with your things. That's what you said, sir, I
Yes,
believe.
the company is paying salary for your technical skills, right? But the corporate needs the leaders who can, develop the team, who can lead the team, who can help the CFO in getting the work completed, who doesn't come up with excuses. So this kind of things challenging, who can throw, on a challenging task. So like
It's
in
more
2020, 21, nobody expected COVID, right? But most of the healthcare companies, they worked during the COVID. So that was a very difficult challenge, for all of us. How to, get the operation running despite having, no support coming. So these are the, the person should be open-minded. The person should be a go-getter, a positive attitude, and that's the reason I've decided, to work for a healthcare system, because, that gives me a pitch. Because if I work for a Coca-Cola company, then maybe, I do not mind to stop my business for few months, I may be losing money, that's fine. But if I'm working for a healthcare system, so that keeps me awaking, that how can I make the patient life better? Though I am part of the finance, but I will work continuously with the commercial team. I work continuously with the supply chain team, and we do a lot of value addition in all the departments of the organization. So we are in between. We are in between of all the functions.
okay. So if you have to pick the three industries today where the student should build its career or a startup, what it would be? The three industries.
See, industry is not an issue, right? So the person should see whether the role which is coming, it doesn't matter from which industry it is coming. So initially, first 10 to 15 year, one should not be very concerned about the industry. The person should focus on the learnings, because I had got a very good role initially, in a 2000 crore rupees of company, but my role was very small. So I looked into the small companies, startup companies where, I could have looked into the other aspect of the business. Making financials, writing the balance sheet is one thing, but understanding the business and then writing the balance sheet is a different thing. So try to find out, a good quality work where you not only understand the business, and you not only understand your technical work, but you also understand the business. So try to see the environment, whether it's a automotive industry or whether it is textile, it doesn't matter. So the company, should have the processes where the company feels proud to train their employees, not only in their technical know-how, but also help them to groom.
Okay, sir. So being a CFO and after having so much knowledge about the finance, how you see when these company bleeds that like Zomato, no, Zomato is making profit like in the last 2 quarters they are making it. Let me see Zepto, Swiggy, they are burning 200 crores rupees of their investor in a single quarter, or they are in losses of 500 crore rupees. How being a CFO you see it? They will make profit in a long run, or they will just it is just like a boom today and it will burst.
No, I don't think it's a boom. So basically, some industry requires, extra time. I think when they would have made the initial assumption, the assumption would not have gone right. But this is an area, this is a smart, they're smart player. So the investor who are making into, investment to Zomato and Swiggy, so they are not investing it looking into, the 5 year horizon. They are looking into 50-year horizon, because this is a niche industry. Nobody have thought about it. So, in 2025, we see they are making losses. But do you think in 2050, 25 year down the line, they would still be making losses?
I guess as far as I see it today, no, maybe they are in they are like a Google's They are like
Correct.
frugal.
So after 25 years, they would not be making losses. So the investors who are there into this company, so they are looking for a long-term horizon. And of course, India is still, a silver line. The economy is growing. So people makes investment where there is a growth story. So India is still having a growth story. The boardroom, the investors or the board, they are very optimistic about India growth story. And if there is an optimism, the investor money comes in.
But when I see it, the Ola as a startup who is bleeding from past, like I believe it's 10 years. It's been 10 years, and the how and then the founder is switching from one business to another business and leaving the Ola behind. Do you think that gives the interest that gains the interest of investor when you see such kind of founders shifting from one business to another business and their main business is bleeding like hell?
So those things will continue to happen, right? So, I mean, you will always see that, 10% of the companies or 10% of the new startups, they will end up in destroying the value for whatever may be the reason. I don't want to comment on it, but I still believe that 90% of the startup or 90% of the entrepreneur, would be successful in India. So 10% failure, I mean, doesn't make any difference if you see at a macro level.
Okay. So when we come to entrepreneur mindset, we see it is a new fashion in India. When we have seen in the past, I have seen like there's a word we call the Gujarati mindset or Marwadi mindset. Maybe you are aware of that. They have made hefty profits, but when you see these entrepreneurs who are more into fashion world and are more into more lavishness, do you think this kind of attitude is for good for a long run?
No, not at all. So this kind of attitude is not going to work in a long run. The companies may be successful in a short term. They may be able to sell stories to the investors in a shorter period. But in a longer run, the investor needs their ROI. Initially 15 years back, their expectation was 5 years to get their money back. Nowadays, it is 10 years, and maybe in 2000 by 2030, they expect it to be 15 years. But within 10 to 15 years, any investor would like to exit. So the business should have enough profitability to give an good exit to the investors. And if the failures are going to be higher, so definitely the cost of equity, the cost of raising capital in India, it would be not a very attractive destination. So, but still, I mean, India is still giving a lot of hope. And so the student like you, so you are into the right time frame. So I think India is still going to be growing at a growing path at least until 2030.
But well, we have a long-term vision. When we see the leaders, the democratic system, they have a long-term visions of 2047. But when we share the short-term goals, we are just like we are struggling to survive. India as an economy, we have a long-term projections of 2047, but in the short term, we are bleeding. We are not in the growth stage. Our dollar is our rupee is falling. How you can say that? I'd like to have a comment on you. Comment on this topic. Sorry, not on you. That how you project India will be a developed economy in 2030 when the people don't even have when the I guess 2 crore 20 crore people are still get subsidized food from government.
I'm sorry, I think it's a very macro level question. So I would like to, take a pause on this.
No worries, sir. Okay. So how someone can get a job in this sector? What key sets they are required for this? Like when you are talking about finance, the CA isn't still in fashion. But what else person should pursue?
See, the automation skills, the person should be able to understand the ERP system very well. Developing an ERP system, understanding the the background of the ERP, how ERP works, how the matrix works, what is the algorithm behind it. So understanding, having a great insight about the technology, about the algorithm that works behind the any software. So that is important to understand. So get some functional knowledge, get some training on SAP, ERP, how the program is written, how the reports are being developed. It will help a lot because most of the organization requires new reports, new set of information. And if the accountant or if the manager is able to coordinate with the developer by providing meaningful information, by providing meaningful insights, so then it will be, a very good, considered to be a very good resource.
Okay. So the key sets, there
Understand the
is
technology. Technology understanding is very important. So we see only the front end, but we also try to learn the back end part of the system also.
So, would you like to recommend these management colleges that while they are teaching BBA, BCom, and BMS, such kind of courses, they should have add some part of technical skills, just like coding Python, or I guess the C++ is in the old fashioned, or any Ruby.
I mean, learn the ERP system, learn the functional part of the ERP system. Like somebody may get training on SAP, like FICO training, it's a 6 months, 12 months course. So try to understand, try to see, how the developer works, what kind of terminology they use, so that, when a functional consultant communicates to a developer, in what format, how they communicate. So that may give some additional advantage.
Okay, when we hire, I guess when you hire someone, it literally takes you 1 year after a training to analyze whether the person is performing or not. What are the key factors you see in the person, that whether he is performing or not, apart from the numbers?
I mean, mainly is the how well the person is able to understand. Understanding of a problem is very important. If you have, I mean, the person has to demonstrate that they have understood the problem, they have understood the requirement clearly, so that there is no back and forth communication between him and his manager. And that is the first point. So spending time more on understanding of a problem rather than starting it upfront, jumping it upfront, and coming after 2 days, 3 days with the wrong solution, that won't help. So planning and understanding of problem is important. So it's an attitude. So one has to always think that you are here, not as an employee. Just always try to wear the, hat of your manager. If you are a manager, what would be your expectation? Then you will start finding that your answer, your way of presentation has been changed drastically. So don't approach a problem, from your point of view. Always try to understand the problem from the point of view of an organization.
Okay. When we see such kind of comments from people that this you should work for 70 hours in a day, do you believe such kind of comments? Like being to a topmost position, when you are saying employee sitting in your office that you have to work 70 hours so that you
It's not
can,
about 17 hours. It's about how you would compete with your peers, right? One has to see the demand and supply, right? So you have
right?
to see your peer, you have to see the competition, you have to see how fast you want to grow.
But
Correct?
as a person, the most of the Indian people have a mentality, because we are not Japanese. I guess you have an idea that Japanese take very personally to their company, but most of the people in India are go to their work just to earn a bread and butter. Why they should have such kind of attitude when they are getting low salaries and the senior management is earning in 80 lakhs, whereas the someone lower manages in 8
See,
lakhs?
when I started my career, right, so that was not our attitude. The people who have become professional in 90s, or before the outpost of BPOs and IT company, from 2005 onwards, when the BPO culture has started in India, so then, people have started working by clock. I think before 2005, I don't think any professional was working with a clock in their mind. So they wanted to go with an approach that, we have to finish the work. It is our own company and we are not there as an employee. But after 2005, when the multinational culture comes in into India, 8 to 10 HR become very proactive. So then there was a cultural shift. Then, 5 hours, 6 hours, work from home, those things have started. But having said that, there was a time people have enjoyed their life. I've also enjoyed my life in BPO. But if I look at the business reality, I mean, I mean, minimum 10 to 12 hours, work attitude should be there. Even if organization is allowing you, giving you flexibility, but we are all young. We can easily work 10 to 12 hours. And if
But
we consider our employer as a part of our own company, then you will stop counting your clock. So the attitude is important.
for someone working 12 hours a day at a company, and let me just give you a very cute example that a person
This is
lives
my
in
this is my personal view, right? I'm
yeah,
not.
right. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. That's your personal view. When a person is living in Pitampura, he's going to Gurgaon. It's take 4 hours from back up and down. I'm counting for 4 hours, and he working for somewhere around 10 hours a day. The 14 hours of a day he's gone at the office only.
So stay nearby Gurgaon or do not accept a job nearby Gurgaon. Some company is not forcing you.
So there are many companies that like
So
literally
you
don't
stay around
allow.
Gurgaon. So if you want to learn, if you want to grow faster than your peers, so you need to think differently, right?
Is it the same for person who is in 20s, and is it all the person
Or
who
does it
having a.
matter? Age doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter.
But with the growing age, you got pressure from your families, you got responsibilities of your kids.
See, I am from the healthcare background, so I can tell a human being is designed to work minimum 16 hours in a day. So 6 hour sleep is good enough. If you work committed towards your organization, so you will sleep very peacefully. You will have a very good pulse rate because you have done something which other has not done. It will be give you a lot of joy, and that joy will help you to further increase your hormones. That will further increase your happiness. So there is a interlinking. If you are working 8 hours, 6 hours, and your manager is not happy, so think about your internal health condition. You won't be able to measure it, but after 10 years, definitely your body will tell you that there was something wrong. So if you are going with a happy mind, if your peers are happy, then you will find even you are sleeping 6 hours in a day, you are waking up more enthusiastic, more positively, and your health is in a much better shape.
How someone can work for 16 hours with the same productivity? I like to have a viewpoint over this.
It's
Like
not about
being a founder,
16 hours working on a laptop. It's about 16 hours or 12 hours or 15 hours, you know, getting ideas, thinking new strategies, thinking about what should I do different tomorrow, thinking about, how can I contribute more towards the organization, making a strategy. Nobody is expecting you to work 10 hours or 12 hours in front of a system. So if you are in your home, if you are enjoying, let's say a leisure time, but your mind can think, right? So you can think about how you should approach your next week, how you should approach your next month, how you should approach your next year. And automatically, the ideas will start coming and you will start implementing those ideas, from day one. It will lay the foundation for future. Unless you start thinking how you would lay down the foundation for the future.
yes, sir. I have the same point views that you have. But we are out of time. I have more questions to add, but we are out of time. Thank you, sir, for coming here. If anybody has any questions, you can send it to the
Yeah,
chat
any
box.
participants would like to ask questions, kindly either raise your hand or put your questions on chat box.
Yeah, it was very nice to listen, see Vishal, study that we have to learn to breathe the organization in thoughts, in ideas, because that is also, job is not only in front of the computer, the job is even when you're in silence. and
Correct.
the thoughts come to you, and then you implement those thoughts. So, like this thought only that we should have mentors, Pansakha and all that, it is not an outcome of copying any other organization. There is, we don't know at least any organization which has this concept of Pansakha, and we are doing this on a daily basis. So these are experiments which people which comes to the mind of people, and then they think, okay, let's see this, try this, and do this and all that. If you start breathing every moment for the organization, then wonders happen in the organization.
That's the key point, sir. And just to reiterate your point, I get the ideas, between 7 to 8 a.m., when I go for a walk. And nobody, looks at my time when I go to office. I may reach at 10, 11. Nobody is really expecting, I should reach office on time. But I'm sorry, I was on mute. So to repeat that, my work start at 6 o'clock in the morning. My productivity hours are between 6 to 7:30. When I'm at peace, when I'm, go for a walk and when I see the nature. And nobody's expecting me, to reach to office at 10, 11, and 12. I go at my own pace. But the first 1.5 hours, I get new ideas. I delegate those ideas to my team, to my managers, to my seniors. And those ideas helps the organization to cultivate, to get their fruits, let's say in the next quarter and over a period of time. And that is the real key. So if you are able to contribute with your ideas, with your new thoughts, so then, organization will always value your contribution. So working 10 hours in front of a system, nobody's expecting. So
Yeah.
that is a myth. That is a myth. But working for 10 hours for an organization is must, because organization is paying you for 10 hours at least. So how can you work? Physically, mentally, giving new ideas. So it's all part of your work.
Yeah, very. Like I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning every day, and many of the thoughts, they come between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. only. And whenever something comes, I immediately send it to the concerned person who is supposed to take care of that in the future.
Correct. And corporates are getting, it's a very difficult time for the corporates, to get a right attitude. That's why I am emphasizing, to breathe the company, to feel that organization belongs to you. If you will work with that kind of attitude, so definitely it will help in every way.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We have last 2 minutes left. Ishita, you want to say something?
Uh, Thank you so much, sir. It was really enriching session, and I must say, students will gain some insights from you, from your experiences. Now, I would like to request to Pranav to deliver the vote of thanks. Pranav, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are truly grateful for the presence of both our distinguished speaker and our moderator. Your valuable insights have made this session highly meaningful for all of us.